Hello and welcome to Noob Gardening. So what we're going to do today, we're going to make a lasagna. Not with pasta though, but with bulbs. This is a great way to create a really lovely display that lasts for months, really early in the season. So you're going to need to start off with a deep pot because we're going to layer it just like you would a lasagna. You're going to start off just adding to the bottom. You want a good couple of inches down there just to help with the drainage, because if you've watched any of the previous videos you know that bulbs like drainage. Alright then. We're now going to add a little bit of compost. You don't need to get special bulb compost, mainly because it's expensive and it might add a little bit to your bulbs, but not really much. So you want to start off with the flowers that are going to flower the last and they're going to go the deepest. So I'm going to start off by putting in some tulips. Again, pointy side up. Oh, that's got a weird point. And we're just going to lay them in there. And you want to pack them in, but you don't want them too close. So you want about a whole bulb's width difference in between your two bulbs, because they're going to swell up lovely when it comes to the spring. So add those bad boys in there. Oh, one that got away. Now, you can always try and experiment with some. Oh, look, one of them's already started to grow. You can try and experiment with your base layer. I'm going to do one a little bit later that's going to have some alliums in the bottom. Lovely plants, alliums. So, got those all laid out. And now, just like a lasagna, you want an extra pasta layer. So, let's put in another layer of compost. And you want about 2 inches. We don't want to firm it down because again you want that drainage, but you just want to make sure there's actual contact, so just a gentle light tapping down would be perfect. Right then, what's next? Let's go with some daffs. So again, you want to plant them reasonably close together, but not so close that they drown each other out. So I'm just going to leave about a bulb's difference in between them all. And what will happen is as these grow, they'll kind of all grow up through each other and they'll be lovely, jubbly come spring. Right then, one more layer on top. Now this is the perfect thing to do, like today where it's filthy wet outside, but you want to do a bit of gardening. You're not going to see the results straight away, like planting out bedding plants. But you are going to end up with something that's absolutely lovely. Right, that's another layer on top of that. Now, my next layer, I'm going to add in some hyacinths. Now these bad boys are really big. So again, you want to space them out with at least a bulb's width in between. just so that you've got enough room for them to grow. And we'll layer on this stuff. Now, as bulbs grow in the spring, what they do is they kind of rise up and they swell up. So don't be afraid that these bottom ones aren't going to come through. They definitely will. Right then. Now as I'm going up the pot, I'm going to the ones that are going to flower the soonest. So tulips last. And now the last ones I'm going to put in the first bloomers of the season, crocuses. Crocuses are absolutely fantastic. They're beautiful purples, yellows, you can get them in all kinds of colours. Now I'm actually spacing these out a little bit further than I probably would normally, just because I didn't get many this year. You can again pack these in if you really want. That means that leaves me with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Probably enough for a second pot, so I'm going to space these out a little bit better. And these will be my first bloomers, so you're going to get flower from this pot all throughout the spring season. It's going to be absolutely lovely. And do a final top off. A couple more inches. Our final pasta layer. And you don't want to take it all the way up to the top of the pot, mainly just because I always want it about a little bit below the surface. And then finally, just like we did with the other pots, dress the pots with some gravel. Now the reason why I do that is several fold really. One, it helps retain the moisture. Two, it stops weeds from getting into your pots. You don't want to be spending all this time planting pots just have a lovely bunch of weeds. It stops things from digging into it as well. Squirrels and all that kind of malarkey, they do love digging up bulbs sometimes, thinking they're nuts. And again, I'm just kind of lightly patting that down, just about a finger's depth below the surface. That allows to dress the pots. It's reasonably even. Right then, I'll get the old gravel, give me a sec. Now the type of gravel you put on it can be all kinds. I've gone, mainly because a lot of my pots are terracotta and black, I've gone with a kind of a golden style shingle gravel here. Now you can go with different colours. Whites look quite striking, the old snow ones. If you go down to any kind of garden centre, you can usually find it in an aggregate section. They're proper useful just to make your pots look lovely. Last from there. Don't want to smother it. But there you go. One lasagna. You want to bake this in a sheltered spot for a few months and you'll have a lovely pot that will last you all throughout the spring season.